Have you ever felt completely stuck, like your life was a dead end with no way out? Well, today I'm going to share a story that might just change how you see your own challenges. It's a story about a beggar, a businessman, and a simple shift in mindset that led to an incredible transformation. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in. There was a man who spent his days on a busy street corner. Every single day, he would sit with an empty bowl, hoping for the kindness of strangers. His life was a cycle of waiting, of receiving just enough to get by. He saw himself as someone who only took, never gave. He believed he had absolutely nothing to offer the world. His bowl and his life felt perpetually empty. This was his reality, day in and day out. One afternoon, a well-dressed businessman walked past. He stopped, but instead of dropping a coin into the bowl, he did something unexpected. He looked the beggar in the eye and said, "My friend, you and I are both in business. I give you a little money, and in return, you should give me something too." The beggar was stunned. He mumbled, "But I have nothing. I have nothing to give." The businessman just smiled gently and replied, "Think about it. There's always something." And with that, he walked away, leaving the beggar completely bewildered. The businessman's words echoed in his mind for the rest of the day. "You should give me something too." What could he possibly give? He owned nothing but the clothes on his back and the bowl in his hands. The idea seemed absurd, yet it planted a seed. That night, as he huddled in his usual spot, he couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about what he could offer. He looked at his dirty hands, his worn-out clothes, nothing. He felt a wave of frustration. Was the businessman mocking him? The next day, the same businessman passed by again. He dropped a coin in the bowl and said, "So, what do you have for me today?" The beggar, flustered, looked around desperately. He saw some small, wild daisies growing in a crack in the pavement nearby. On impulse, he quickly picked a few and held them out. "This is all I have," he said, his voice barely a whisper. The businessman took the flowers, a wide smile spreading across his face. "Excellent! This is a fair exchange." "You see? You did have something to give." He thanked the beggar and went on his way, leaving him staring at the coin and the now empty spot where the flowers had been. Something inside the beggar shifted. For the first time in years, he felt a flicker of pride. He hadn't just received charity. He had participated in a transaction. He had given something of value. This small act changed everything. From that day on, he made it his mission to find something to give to everyone who helped him. Every morning, he would go to the outskirts of the city and pick wildflowers. He'd bring them back to his corner, and whenever someone gave him a coin, he would hand them a flower in return. A strange thing started to happen. People loved it. His corner became known as the spot where you didn't just give money, you received a beautiful flower and a smile. More and more people started stopping by. They weren't just giving out of pity anymore. They were engaging with him. They would chat, ask about his day, and compliment his flowers. His bowl started filling up faster than ever before. He wasn't just a beggar anymore. He was the flower man. He started to feel a sense of purpose he'd never known. With the extra money he was making, he decided to reinvest in his new business. He stopped picking wildflowers and went to a wholesale flower market. He bought a small bunch of fresh roses. They were more expensive, but they were also much more beautiful. The reaction was immediate. People were even more delighted to receive a stunning rose for their small act of kindness. His income doubled, then tripled. He was no longer just surviving. He was starting to thrive. He realized he had a talent for this. He knew which flowers people liked, how to arrange them to look their best, and most importantly, how to connect with his customers. The act of giving had unlocked a part of himself he never knew existed. He saved every penny he could. After a few months, he had enough to rent a tiny stall at a local market. He was no longer on the street corner. He was a legitimate business owner with his own flower stall. His reputation for quality and kindness grew. People came from all over the city to buy his flowers. He remembered the lessons he'd learned on the street. Every customer deserved respect, and a small gift could make a big difference. He would often tuck a small, extra flower into a customer's bouquet, just as a little surprise. This generosity only made his business more successful. He hired his first employee, then another. His small stall grew into a bustling flower shop, one of the most popular in the city. Years went by. The former beggar was now a wealthy and respected businessman. He owned a chain of flower shops and lived in a beautiful home, but he never forgot where he came from. One day, he decided to find the man who had changed his life all those years ago. He wanted to thank him, to show him what his simple words had inspired. After some searching, he found the businessman's office. He walked into the luxurious office, a successful man meeting another. The businessman, now older, didn't recognize him at first. The flower mogul introduced himself and recounted the story of their encounter on the street corner. He explained how the simple idea of giving something back had completely transformed his life, turning him from a hopeless beggar into a successful entrepreneur. He looked at the businessman and said, "I came here today to thank you. You taught me the most important lesson of my life, that everyone, no matter their situation, has something of value to give. You didn't just give me a coin. You gave me back my dignity." The old businessman listened, a look of profound surprise on his face. When the story was finished, he shook his head slowly and smiled. "You have it wrong, my friend," he said. "You think I was the one who taught you a lesson? No, it was you who taught me. I'm a businessman, and I've always understood the principle of exchange. But you were a beggar who believed you had nothing, yet you taught me that even from a place of perceived scarcity, the spirit of giving can create abundance. You are the true master of this philosophy. I just provided the spark. You built the fire." This story is so powerful because it reminds us that our value isn't determined by what we have, but by what we do. The beggar, as transformation began the moment he shifted his focus from what he lacked to what he could offer. He only had a wildflower, but that was enough. It was the act of giving that unlocked his potential and set him on a new path. It changed his self-perception from a taker to a giver, from a victim to an entrepreneur. How often do we tell ourselves that we can't do something because we lack the resources, the skills, or the opportunity? We focus on our own empty bowls. But this story challenges us to look again. What wildflowers are growing in the cracks of our own lives? It could be a kind word, a helping hand, a unique skill, or just our time and attention. Everyone has something to give. The moment we start giving, we begin to receive in ways we could never have imagined. It's not about grand gestures. It starts with one small flower. So, I want to leave you with this question. What can you give today? It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be something. Think about it. And if this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. What's the wildflower you have to offer the world? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories that inspire and make you think, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow and bring more content like this to you. We'll see you in the next video.